Hello, Booktube. Welcome back to my channel. My name is David, and if this is your first time joining me, then welcome. I tend to read a very diverse range of books, from ancient and medieval history to medieval literature to science fiction, fantasy, some historical fiction, classics. And so today I've got two different kind of little TBRs for you of a sort. Earlier today, I revealed the Eclectic Book Club pick for February, being John Steinbeck's The Acts of King Arthur and His Noble Knights. So I'll definitely be reading that in February, along with my Poetry Book of the Month Club pick, which is actually T.S. Eliot. Wasteland and Other Poems. While I'm thinking about it, might as well get that out there. This is a very, very thin volume. And so there's a tradition that started last year called the Booktube spin. And so it had 4 iterations last year. And we're up for number 5 this year. So the Rick McDonnell will be spinning the wheel on Friday. And the wheel is going to be numbered 1 through 20. And so what we are called to do is to present a list of 20 books. And whatever number gets spun, that is the book that you will commit to read by, I believe, March 31st. So you'll have about 2.5 months from the time of the spin to get through those books. And what I plan to do here, I got to thinking of series. And I've got a lot of series that I either want to start or need to continue. And so I had the random idea during the day. Well, I should do a series theme spin if I have 20. And sure enough, I had to put some back. And sure if they were series or not. So I've got 20 here, and I'm just going to go through them real quick and let me know in the comments which of these 20 you would be rooting for me to be able to read. So number 1, we're going to start with Gardens of the Moon by Steven Erickson. This is book 1 of Malazan Book of the Fallen. So Joanna, Dr. Philip Chase, I know you'll be probably cheering for that one, and that's why it had to be number 1. And number 2 is the one that's near and dear to my heart's hopes, is probably Old Man's War by John Scalzi, because I've really, really enjoyed Scalzi so far. And so this is one that I know I need to get around to, and I'm excited to get to it. But not to be outdone is The Fall of Hyperion. So this is book 2 of Hyperion. This is the continuation, so to speak, of book 1. I need to read this. This is one of the 2 books that I bought with my Christmas money. And with good reason, because I want to get to this. That is number 3. Number 4, we have The Moat in God's Eye by Larry Niven and Jerry Pournelle. Number 5, we have 16 Ways to Defend a Walled City by K.J. Parker. I'm so excited to get to this book. You wouldn't think it because it's taken me forever to get around to it, but I'm excited. Book 6, right? 6, yes. Julian May, The Many-Colored Land. This is volume 1 of the saga of the Pliocene Exile. I have 4 volumes. I don't know if there's more than 4 in this series, but I've got all 4 of them on my shelf. Might as well start some Julian May. So number 6. No, that was number 6. Number 7. We have Dune Messiah by Frank Herbert. We have number 8. In terrible condition here. Stainless Steel Rat's Revenge by Harry Harrison. I really enjoyed Stainless Steel Rat. This is one of the shorter ones on the list. Make it nice and easy to do. Number 9, we have Ender's Shadow by Orson Scott Card. This is book 1 of the Shadow series. So this is the from Bean's perspective. And I'm excited to dive into that one. We have number 10, The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet by Becky Chambers. No surprise here. I still need to get to Becky Chambers. Number 11, Shadow of the Gods by John Gwynne. The book I lost to in Jeremy Fee's Great Battle of 2021, books that he read. No shame in losing to that big giant dragon. I mean, look at the scale there. There's the teeny tiny man. Book 12, The Caves of Steel by Isaac Asimov. Book 13, The Guns of Avalon by Roger Zelazny. This is book 2 in his Chronicles of Amber series. Book 14, Children of Time by Adrian Tchaikovsky. Book 15, we have The Deceivers by Alfred Bester. This is the unofficial sequel, the true successor to Stars My Destination. 16, we have Consider Phelbus by Ian M. Banks, the first of the Culture novels. 17, we have The Warlord of Mars by Edgar Rice Burroughs. 18, we have The Dragonbone Chair by Tad Williams. 19, we have The Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss. And last but certainly not least, 20, we have A Hero Born by Jin Young, the first book in the Legends of the Condor Heroes. So those are my 20. I'll have to watch this video again and try to count along once he does the spin, because I can go through and number them and add them into the description myself. And in addition to that, I wanted to also reveal February. There is going to be fantasy story read-along hosted by Becky and Scott from the Bookish Bryants, along with a host of other co-hosts. I know people are going to start to be doing their official TBRs and reveals. There's going to be a week for classic fantasy, a week for sword and sorcery, a week for dark fantasy, and a week for urban fantasy. And like their New Worlds November, the idea is to read shorter works, and the idea is to just read something that is going to qualify. You don't necessarily have to follow those themed weeks, and I'm not going to, because I don't think I have anything dark fantasy or urban fantasy that would qualify. So I'm going to go through, I've pulled 4 shorter books, and I'm going to go through them in the order that I'm probably going to prioritize them. So the one I definitely want to get through is a fantasy medley. So this is a series of stories. So this has got 4 short stories, novella type stories. Zen and the Art of Vampirism by Kelly Armstrong. That might be dark fantasy. Riding the Shore of the River of Death by Kate Elliott. From Russia with Love by C.E. Murphy. And Words Like Coins by Robin Hobb. So I want to get through those 4 stories. And so that'll be what I'm trying to do for week 1. Week 2, I will follow the Sword and Sorcery here and do Conan, Robert E. Howard, Three-Bladed Doom. So this is relatively short, 170 pages long. So we'll see how that goes. Third on there, No One Noticed the Cat by Anne McCaffrey. So this is another short little one that I've got on my shelf. This is 95 pages long. So this should be a nice, easy one to fit in there. And then the longest of them all, but still just over 200. This is 215, 216. Yeah, 216. Song of Sorcery by Elizabeth Scarsborough. And it Isaac Asimov's science fiction magazine. said the word for Song of Sorcery is delicious. So, I mean, that's got to be a good set of praise there. So this is the one. If I don't get to all of them, this is the one that I won't get to, and I'm okay with that. But if I can get through even the first 3, that would be a fantastic win for me. Because I'll get some Conan in there. I'll get some Anne Mccaffrey, which I have not read nearly enough Anne Mccaffrey. And then I'll get some short stories in there, including one by Robin Hobb, which, let's face it, that's the one that I'm really excited about. Although I've never read anything by Kate Elliott, so I'm really excited for her story in there as well. So that's all I had for this video. I wanted to share my Booktube spin picks, as well as my plans for the 4 books that I'm going to try to target in February for the great fantasy read along. And the name of it eludes me. They have a clever name for it, and I'll have that link down below if I can find it, and I'll get the co-hosts and all of that added in there as they all get announced. And watch for a whole bunch of TBR videos from those hosts in the next week. So thank you, Booktube. Hope you have a great day.